It is 7:21 now, and last night the 2025 New Jersey Republican gubernatorial primary debate was held at the Donald Payne Senior School of Technology in Newark. We have some great shots of that we could show you too. And you saw it live on ONNJ. It brought heated exchanges and bold visions for the future of our state. The June 10th primary is just weeks away, and the race to replace the term-limited Governor Phil Murphy is heating up. Joining us this morning, I can see right there, Mr. Spadia coming on stage. Joining us this morning is former Senate candidate, GOP strategist Alex Zdan. We spoke to him last night live on the air. He's been closely following the race. Alex, welcome to the show. Let's dive right into your analysis of last night's debate. First of all, how did you like the long form format?
I think, Ken, I liked your long form. I liked seeing you giving us an extensive pre-show and post-show. I think the long form format did allow us to dip into some of these deeper issues, but in reality, I think maybe a 90-minute debate is probably a little bit more conducive to getting the points together. We had 3 candidates as opposed to the Democrats' 5. The real takeaway of this debate is Jack Ciattarelli sealed the deal. Jack Ciattarelli showed us why he's the man to lead New Jersey, why he's the man to lead the Republican Party. Jack is a statesman. Jack is an honorable man. Jack's got experience, and Jack is going to turn Trenton on its head on day one. That's why President Trump endorsed Jack. The other side can talk all they want about polls and platforms, but the president endorsed a person. That person is Jack Ciattarelli because the president knows that Jack is the one best equipped to carry the Republican banner to victory this November and fix our broken state, which has gone under Phil Murphy's watch.
Yeah, when the debate started, I mean, the 3 candidates came into that building, and 2 of those 3 candidates were up against somebody who was, I guess, 51% in one poll, and the endorsement of the very popular standing president of the United States. They literally had to come in there with pictures that people shouldn't see in order to try to win that debate. That would have been a very, very difficult win. And I think everyone was kind of holding their breath to see if we would hear anything from Spadia or from Bramnick that would say, oh, wait a minute, I better reconsider. And there just really wasn't that moment.
Well, Ken, it's all over but the crying. Obviously, everybody's still got to vote. Everybody's still got to turn out. And I know Jack, and he's going to work the hardest that anyone can possibly work until the very last minute that the polls closed. But you saw last night why this race, according to the polls, is such a runaway for Jack Ciattarelli. Jack covers all the bases of the Republican Party. Moderates respect Jack. MAGA conservatives respect Jack. Libertarian conservatives respect Jack. The Republican Party has a very broad tent, and Jack has broad support among each and every one of our pillars. They know he's the best candidate to take this forward.
Yeah, Jack Ciattarelli kind of walked right down that line. So he's moderate enough because he's been anti-Trump to a little tiny extent in the past, when a lot of people were. Let's face facts. Eight years ago in New Jersey, Trump was not a popular candidate. Today, I mean, he came within points of winning the state, 5, 6 points. That would have been unheard of. I mean, 10 years ago, Trump who, or why would we vote for Trump? That was the concept in New Jersey. So the fact that he has become more popular, yet Jack Ciattarelli kind of walked that line. I'm not quite a MAGA head, but at the same time, I support your guy Trump. And now in the general election, you know, whoever it is, whether it be Ras Baraka or Mikey Sherrill or Gottheimer, whomever else, that Jack Ciattarelli is able to say, hey, I'm not a hardcore MAGA supporter, yet he still has support of the president.
Well, Jack has said consistently that he supports the president of the United States and wants the president of the United States to be successful, whoever is in office. We should always root for our country. Maybe if we don't like the party of the person in the White House, but we should still root for our country. So Jack's been consistent on that. And obviously, Jack's trip to Bedminster, where he met the president face to face, Jack's call with the president when he received news of this endorsement really mattered. Jack has that ability, whether it's with the president or an average person on the street, the cop, the shop owner, the mom who's working 2 jobs. Jack makes that authentic connection, and Jack listens to that person and tells their story. I said last night that Jack needs to tell the story of why he should be our governor. He did that last night. He talked about his conversations with police chiefs. He talked about his conversations with small business owners. Jack does that. He is all over the state, everywhere, all the time. I think it's rich for the other side to talk about being with Trump since the escalator in Trump Tower in 2015. But the moment that the president endorsed Jack, they're all questioning President Trump's judgment. Very
You
rich.
know,
It seems that that support is not as ironclad as we thought.
Alex, I'm going to get in trouble for making this comment, but I look at Jack Ciattarelli as Ronald Reagan meets an intelligent Jersey Italian, and you put the two together. And what I mean by that, I mean that only complimentary. I don't mean that in any derogatory way, being an Italian
Especially
American
to
from Jersey.
Italians.
Exactly. I look at him as he has the, and you know, President Trump loves a look. He likes a certain look. Everybody he surrounds himself with has to have a certain professional, good-looking look. Jack Ciattarelli's handsome. He has the confidence. He always has a smile on his face. He doesn't get, whether he's mean or not in the background, and we don't know, we won't even judge on that. He always comes across warm and affable in public and confident. Those are all the attributes that President Trump likes, and I think the average voter likes. Reagan had that. So if you take the Reagan look, if you think about the qualities, the hair and everything else, there's a kind of similarity there, only there's a little Jersey swagger in Jack Ciattarelli that Reagan wouldn't have had. And you
I
put it all
agree with you.
together, he might be the guy just now.
It's the phrase that was used to describe Reagan and has been used to describe great politicians throughout the history of our country is happy warrior. Jack is a warrior, but he's also happy about it. That smile on Jack's face is genuine. He's genuinely happy to see people. He's genuinely happy to connect. Part of the reason that I've endorsed Jack and have been proud to call him my friend is because of the person who he is. It's not just his policies. It's not just his electability, although those are very important in an election. It's the man of honor that I know personally, the person who's out there every single day, shaking hands on the hustings, making sure he has that authentic connection, the person who listens, the person who isn't afraid to listen to other people tell him that he might be wrong and take advice, but the person who has a very firm grasp on what he believes and what he wants to do as governor. He will get things done.
Alex, as a former candidate yourself, was there any kind of a an opportunity that you saw people miss last night? Did you hear any moment where you thought to yourself, this is a point where this person should have seized, Bramnick should have jumped here, or Spadia should have pounced there, or was it just exactly as you thought it would be at the beginning of the night?
Well, I don't know why John Bramnick's there at all, to be quite honest with you. The opportunity that John Bramnick had last night was to endorse Jack, drop out, leave the room, and have a nice glass of wine at home. So I think that was a missed opportunity for Senator Bramnick. But I think you can tell when you looked at Bramnick's face and you saw the way that Bramnick was interacting with Jack. Bramnick knows Jack's going to win. Bramnick knows that this is just an opportunity for him to get his name out statewide, raise some money, and then go back to his Senate seat. And I hope that Bramnick will endorse Jack after this is over, because what we need to look to, and like I said, no one's taking this for granted. Early voting starts June 3rd. Primary day is June 10th. Every Republican needs to come out and vote. But on June 11th, we need to unite this party. We need to unite this party behind our nominee, because the numbers game in New Jersey is still not in our favor. There are still more registered Democrats than Republicans in New Jersey. If we're going to turn the state around and fix it, we need every Republican to come out in November and vote for the Republican nominee for governor and down ballot, because we need to try and flip some assembly seats.
Yeah, I think too many people say, "Hey, like Joe, Joe's my, he's a Democrat, but he's my guy." No, you got to look at this on a party-wide. Too many, and I know from my own Italian American friends. "Hey, my father, my grandfather, they always voted Democrat." And I look at them and I say, "Oh, so you don't mind your granddaughter being naked with boys in the because that's what they stand for." You have to wake up and realize there's a difference between the D and the R today. It is not your grandfather's damn Democrat Party. Wake the hell up. I'm just tired of it.
And
And I'm sure you are too. As you can see, I'm frustrated.
I know it's not your grandfather's Democratic Party. It's not your mother's Democratic Party. It's not your older brother's Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has changed. The Democratic Party has gone full woke. It lost its mind during President Trump's first term and still hasn't found it yet. And if you look at the Democrats who debated on Sunday, and I know you were there, Ken, you see that the name that they all have on their lips is Jack Ciattarelli, Jack Ciattarelli, Jack Ciattarelli. The Democrats are gearing up because they know that Jack is going to be the nominee of the Republican Party. Jack's a formidable nominee, and they are trying to use Jack, get this, to scare their own base into voting for them. That is the definition of a front runner. Jack is the front
There
runner.
we go. There you go. Hey, when are you going to run again? Can we ever get you to run again? New Jersey's lost that you did not become a senator.
Ken, I think I might go for a run in a couple hours here. Do a few miles around the lake by my house. That's when I'll run again.
Well, I mean it when I say that. It is New Jersey's loss
I
that you are not
appreciate
a
it, Ken.
senator.
There are some opportunities coming up that I'm taking a look at. Most important thing right now is making sure that Jack wins the primary, and after that, I'll definitely take a look at what might be in my future.
All right. Please don't be a stranger to the show. Former U.S. Senate
No,
candidate and GOP strategist, brilliant man, Alex Zdan. Thank you for
thank you.
joining us last night and this morning. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, Ken.